Welcome back to day 2 of Prevent-a-Thon for raising money for Little Warriors. This is Silk with Mind bringing you the daily spotlight. We had a fantastic day yesterday. We reached the $5,000 total raised across all events for Little Warriors, which is super exciting, super hype. We've got so much more coming today, but first I have an interview for you with T-Tree and trainer Nade, 2 runners from later today, as well as 2 members of host staff. Let's take it over to that interview. All right, and joining me here today, I have the wonderful T-Tree and the fantastic trainer Nade.
Hello.
All right, so first up, Nade, you've been with us since the first event. You've been staffed since the second event, and now you're also running this event. What's been your favorite thing about being involved with Prevent-a-Thon so far?
I mean, it might sound a little cliche, but honestly, working with Little Warriors, it is such a great cause that doesn't get a lot of focus. And so being able to raise money and support such an amazing cause, really, it's one of the things that keeps me coming back.
Awesome.
It's also a great community.
I'm
fun runs, putting on an event for charity, getting to meet amazing people. Those are all good too.
Yeah, sure. And T-Tree, this is actually your first event with us. And what
yes, all together.
What drew you to getting involved here?
Yeah, it's part of what I just kind of alluded to, that I love being involved in charity marathons in general, meeting people, getting them opportunities to show off things that they're passionate about. And then partially, and I'm going to vague post about this a little bit because I haven't really spoken to him to get an okay to discuss this, but my brother, with his fiance, basically adopted her kids, who had previously been in a situation that was, let's just say the father was absentee at best and neglectful, and maybe abusive at worst. And getting to see how that sort of behavior can affect very young children as they were at the time, across their development, as I've seen them grow up to the extent that I have, is a very profound thing. So, not even speaking specifically to Little Warriors mission, but to the way that young children can be impacted by issues with people close to them, especially parents, is something that made this cause near and dear to me.
Yeah, so true. Young children are so vulnerable and need such incredible support as they grow, just to develop well. On to our next question. You are both members of host staff. So I'm curious, what advice would you have for anyone interested in getting involved with this event as a host, or maybe just as a volunteer in general?
Well, I wanna start with, so anyone who's maybe listening and has never hosted and you're anxious about it, don't worry, we're all anxious no matter how long we've been doing this. Even like big event like Games Done Quick hosts, because I've interacted with them as well. We're all anxious. Every single one of us is anxious. Honestly, my best advice, just go for it. And if you get a no, don't take that like personally. Just keep trying and keep practicing and keep putting yourself out there.
Yeah, I can tell you for our purposes, we review what you send to us. So, if you are sending in from another group that you're particularly proud of, as far as like additional materials, we'd love if you have the opportunity to record a video specifically for us. But at the present time, and until further notice, we're not requiring that it be done that way necessarily. But it is basically a matter of us, we take aside, if we know you, everybody in this call has been to at least one GDQ mainline event, but we don't consider that sort of stuff when looking at it. So everybody is on even footing, relative to what you send in. So, find the time to get yourself in a good headspace, or find some videos for us to look at where you feel like you really nailed it, and send them in. We'd absolutely love to see it. If you want to reach out to any of us to talk about the craft, I think we all generally love to do that sort of thing. I'm always tickled pink whenever somebody says that I helped calm their nerves when they were going for a big audition for something, or that they learned something from me. It feels like the least I could do to give back in this sort of way. So I'm very grateful for every opportunity to do that. And as far as volunteering generally, just do it. Put yourself out there for something, whether or not you know how to do that already. Like most of the things I have volunteered with for organizations over the last 5 years, I did not have a deep understanding of how to do before I jumped into it. And people gave me those opportunities to get my feet wet, to build my confidence and my understanding in how to do those things. And that's made all the difference.
Yeah, for sure. I can speak as head organizer that we love seeing folks who are brand new to a role coming and getting involved. And one of my mottos as head organizer is to make sure we've got space for people who are new and want to get involved, to come have a chance to try. So absolutely would love to have you come get involved at our next event if you're curious about it. That being said, you're both obviously staff, you're both hosting throughout this event, but you both also have runs during the event. So both of you very, very busy. How about in a couple of sentences, what can folks expect to see from each of your runs? I don't know which one wants
Would
to
you
go
like
first.
to start?
Yeah, sure. I'll go first. So Backpack Hero is a roguelike inventory management deck builder that uses items instead of cards. But the RNG of the game determines what enemies we face, what items we end up using, even how long of a path we have to follow. So even though it's a speed run, there's a lot of RNG, and it's difficult, but it's fun and it's adorable. So come check it out.
Nice. Is anything controlled for RNG wise, or is it literally just hey, I know generally how to handle basically anything that comes, and we take it as it goes?
Technically, there's a little bit of control because you get to choose which biomes you enter, and then the biomes have different enemies and things, but
Got
only
it.
minorly.
Sure. Yeah. It sounds like a lot of the roguelikes and stuff that all three of us I think have run over the years.
Yes.
I got to show off a roguelike that the seeding for that game wasn't working at the time. So I ran a completely like blind seed at AGDQ earlier this year. So yeah, I definitely know how that goes. As for my game,
What about
not a roguelike, this is a rhythm showcase, Amplitude, a spiritual sequel to a series of early PS2 games. Flashing lights and colors, enjoyable atmosphere. I mean, it is a rhythm game that focuses on electronic music, which I think a lot of them don't, and really sets it aside. If we meet the encore setlist incentive, there will also be some video game music joining the mix. And then also, as far as the commentary, expect a lot of chaos because I will be having the lovely JPEG and the extremely affable Joker alongside. Uh, so yeah, more GDQ hosts, more chaos for sure.
It's going to be a great time, and I'm totally not biased because my run is also in the rhythm block. But it's going to be a great set of games today. Obviously, with Anada's run, Teacher's run, you're not going to want to miss those, but we've got a stacked list of games all today. You're not going to want to miss any of them. But before we start heading that direction, Anada and Teacher, anything else you would like to say?
I'll go first on this one. The short version is thank you for being here. You're already doing the most impactful thing we could ask of you by just showing up and being part of this marathon. If you're chatting, if you are able to donate anything within your means, that is so incredibly wonderful. But know that by being here, you are making all the difference. So thank you.
I mean, Teatree stole my words, but
Happy to help.
The other thing I want to say is 100% if you like these runs, if you like the vibe of this, interview, join our community, join our Discord. We have 2 events a year currently. And honestly, I feel like, the leads Cell, especially as our, main organizer, we really try to have a supportive environment. And so whether you're volunteering for us, running, commentating, or just hanging out, we want to see you. Come spend time with us. Come talk with us. We like building a good community, and I feel like we've done that so far. So come join.
And this is the part where I turn the microphone around. Any last words from you, Sel?
Well, thank you both so much for taking time to come join me to record this interview, and for just being fantastic members of staff. I couldn't ask for better people to work with to help run this event. All right. Thank you both so much. Thank you, Anada and T, for joining me for that incredible interview. I'm so excited for both of your runs coming up later today. Of course, all donations here at Prevent-a-Thon go to Little Warriors. They have the Be Brave French program. That's where kids can go and receive treatment. But they also have other programs as well, including a free workshop, both in person and online, called the Prevent-a-Thon program. This program is super valuable, teaches you how to respond to a child disclosing abuse to you and the warning signs, things to look out for. It's a very, very valuable program. Very difficult, of course. The subject is hard, but so worth doing just from the amount of knowledge that it gives you and prepares you to respond with. So with that being said, we're going to go to a video to learn more about the Prevent-a-Thon program, and then we're going to go straight into our host and the next run. So everyone, enjoy this video.
Child abuse is one of the most heinous crimes that exists. It's something that has existed in our society forever.
I was 6 years old and I just turned 6. About 2 weeks later, I was abused by my uncle.
My sexual abuse started roughly when I was 5 years old, roughly, and continued until well into my teens.
Throughout this workshop, you're going to learn to take action to help stop child sexual abuse. Throughout the workshop, your program facilitator will work with you to deepen your learning about child sexual abuse, encouraging you to think about how you will apply this information to your own interactions with children.
People who commit these types of offenses, they seek out positions, situations where they have close contact with children.
Grooming happens when an offender essentially begins to develop a relationship with a child or teen. Grooming behaviors can vary from person to person, but essentially there's similarities in that they're creating special relationships between the child or teen and themselves.
We know that 95% of people know their offender.
It's interesting, obviously I've talked to thousands of survivors and they're like, you would never know. My dad, he's a lawyer, he's a judge, he's a doctor, he's a dentist, he's a school teacher. Like, they work where they've got access.
And so here I am, an adolescent young man who has dreams and aspirations of playing in the NHL. And the person that I trust the most is abusing me. And he has my future in his hands.
It is not the child's responsibility to prevent these situations from occurring. It is our responsibility as adults.
You know, it's funny. Listen here for a second here, chat. Do you realize that somebody in production, which by the way, amazing group and everything like that, do you realize they decided to put me, Pro Pokenoob, at the start of day 2 of Prevent-a-Thon 4 to bring hype and energy and to get you all ready? You are going to be pumped full of so much adrenaline. Your Friday is now Friday. Your weekend is now week start. You will not be sleeping until Halloween. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How you doing? Welcome to Prevent-a-Thon for day 2, where we have a bunch of wonderful speedruns here, all in support of Little Warriors. Little Warriors is a national charitable organization focused on the awareness, prevention, and treatment of child sexual abuse. They also advocate on behalf of and with child sexual abuse survivors. For more information, visit littlewarriors.ca or type !info in chat. I need all the energy I can get because it is cold today, so you might hear me chattering a bit. I'm trying to... Energy plus cold doesn't work very well, but we're gonna be getting ready for our first run very, very, very soon. It will be the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed Super Bosses % with Bacol. While we're setting up for that, I want to tell you about some of the targets and milestones and everything else like this that you could be aiming for, because we have one that's actually really, really close. I guess everyone was working on this last night, and it was for the Sonic CD Restored run, where the Ultimate Tales mod is on the table. We need to raise a total of $125 Canadian for that, and we're up to 104. We're very, very close to achieving that. And let's say maybe Sonic is, you're expect, okay, someone else will finish Sonic for you. We also have another bid war. Actually, in fact, 3 bid wars open for 3 characters for the Backpack Hero triple finish run with Trainer Anade in a little bit, in a couple hours or so. There are a lot of costumes. There's too much to explain. I love choice paralysis. You might not like choice paralysis, but this is a choice paralysis demon you want to shake hands with. So if you want to go over and you want to do the bid wars for the crate costume, the purse costume, and the satchel costume, they're cute little animals that they can put on different costumes. There's one here, I'm going to say I'm slightly biased towards the one that's called Caveman. That's brilliant, by the way. Absolutely adore that. Make sure you go over, and when you put in your donations towards Little Warriors, that you are selecting those targets and those bid wars. It'll pop up in a separate tab, I believe. You'll see it. You'll figure it out. Just scroll the scene a little bit, and you'll get there. Other than that, we have a stacked day for you. We also have, if you want an even more stacked day, if we reach $1,025, rather, not if, when we reach $1,025 Canadian. The bonus game Spin Rhythm XD will be unlocked. We had a lot of smiley face yesterday. Tons of puzzle run and stealth run and everything else smiley face. Can we have rhythm run smiley face today? I think we can make that happen. And we need to get there. We're actually halfway there, so like it's very, very possible.